Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today we are going to check how to do couple of checklists to get the Cessna 172 Skyhawk started. This is in particular is Cessna Skyhawk 172 SP, and this is the cockpit view, and we will go over through four main topics before we can get the engine started, and that other topics which are also included in the Explain 11 operating manual. It's kind of a checklist, so we go one by one in that process, and by the end we have the Cessna Skyhawk 172 fully started and in the best condition before it can go for taxi and takeoff. So starting with the initial cockpit check, the very first one we need to check is parking brake. Parking brake, it's right here. It is pulled, so that's good. Parking brake is on. Master switch is on, so we're going to turn on the master switch, which is right here, battery. So we're going to turn it on, and you will see a couple of lights on the top, and you will see a little bit of an engine start or some battery start actually noise. After that, battery voltage check 24. So the battery voltage is coming right here. If you're not seeing a battery voltage over here, click on this small button on the top and it will change it to temperature from Fahrenheit, Celsius, and then battery. Okay. After that, landing lights. So we're going to turn on a couple of lights over here. We're going to turn on the beacon light, landing lights, taxi lights, navigation lights, strobe light, because we're going to check those lights to make sure they are operable. We're going to extend the flaps also all the way down. Okay, so the flaps are fully extended, and that concludes our initial cockpit checklist. All right, moving on to our next one, which is pre-flight exterior inspection. We're going to check visually first the lights. I would like to start with, so I can see on the tail right here, where is it? I can see on the tail right here that beacon light is on. I can see the navigation lights on the side. I can see the strobe flashing. I can see on the both ends the green and the red navigation lights are on. Taxi lights on, landing lights on, both on the same side. And those are the lights. I can see visually that the flaps are fully extended, so they are operable. And we're going to check the ailerons, rudders, making sure they are movable and not jammed. So that concludes our pre-flight exterior inspection. All right, the third one is before starting an engine. We already know that we already have the battery up and running at this point, so we're going already, and we already completed our exterior inspection. So second, we need to check the fuel selector, making sure the fuel selector is checked to both, which is in center. Parking brake is on. Yes, it is on and pulled. That means lights off. So we're going to turn on the strobe light, navigation lights, taxi lights, even the landing lights, and the beacon light is the only one that needs to be on, which can tell the other people's working on the ground that somebody is in the plane. Fuel quality check. So fuel quality is right here, left and right both are balanced. That's good. Quality, I'm saying, sorry, fuel quantity, that is checked. Yes. Power is idle. Power lever is all the way pulled up. Mixture rich, so mixture is also pulled back, but at this point we need to fully forward the mixture. Avionics bus 1 and 2 needs to be off. They needs to be off at this moment, so they are off. And that concludes before starting an engine to make sure this is how it needs to look. All right, moving on to the last one, which is engine start. So at this point we have the battery on, we have the fuel quantity already checked, we have the mixture fully forward. So we're going to open the throttle 1/4 or half. So I will try, I have a little, like, if I'm on this view, this gives me a little bit of a, like, this much of the throttle. It's good. How about this one? This much. And master switch is on, which is already on. Fuel pump, we're going to turn on the fuel pump. And I actually like to pull the throttle all the way in. Why? Because I like to see this fuel flow up to 5. And then I will turn off the fuel pump. And you see this cursor went back down. and I will pull it to 1/4 or 1/2 right here. Okay. Mixture all the way to full. Beacon is on. Yes. We're going to say clear by opening the door. Clear. Ignition switch start. And we're going to start the ignition. Nicely started. I'm going to reduce the throttle a little bit to keep the RPM to 1000. That's good right there. The RPM are showing right here in case if you want to know. Ignition switch is automatically switched back to both. That is showing over here. Yes. Oil pressure check. The oil pressure is mentioned right over here through a PSI. It is checked. Avionics, we can turn on the avionics as of right now. That turns on our Garmin 530, 430 and our Squawk. And radios on and set. So the radios are on. Yes, we haven't set them, we haven't checked them, but they automatically switch to whatever airport you are. It will switch to the ground tower. And transponder is on. Transponder is right now, transponder is this 4700. It's showing off, which is fine because we haven't have any flight and we haven't had any taxi instructions, so it's okay to be in off at this point. We can set it to ALT mode as well, but I'm not going to do that as of right now. I'm going to turn on the altimeter, and that will brings the amp to 0 needle. And at this point, increase the throttle just a little bit to keep it at 1000. At this point, my altimeter is on, battery is on, my mixture is all the way full, my throttle is pulled so that I can have 1000 RPM on the ground, idle, and I have my fuel flow right here showing in good. I have fuel quantity, both are balanced. I have the temperature also showing up, which is in green, amp also showing up, which is 0, good. And the vacuum pressure is a little bit slightly below the green bar, which is fine at this moment. And that concludes our checklist to make the Cessna Skyhawk 172 SP fully started. And as you can see, and at this point, the lights are not on, which means the navigation lights, strobe lights, you can turn those on, but you can keep them off. Even the landing lights are off, but you can keep them on, or you can wait to file a flight plan, and once you get a clearance of an IFR, then you can turn on the lights. And that concludes doing the checklist on how to get Cessna Skyhawk 172 SP getting started. Thank you.